Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Vayeishev. This week's Divrei Torah will be based on the words of Rav Shimon Schwab and Maayon Bais Hashoeva, as well as from selected essays of his, as brought down in the Sefer of Schwab on Chumash. So, what we're going to talk about is about Yosef Hatzadik. He was sent in the Bais Asurim after being sold by his brothers. He interpreted the dreams of the Sar HaMashkim, the Sar HaOfim, the butler and the cook, and now he's telling the Sar HaMashkim that in Perak Mem Pasuk Yudalid that Kim Zechartanu Etcha Kasher Yitav Lecha Vasisla Imadi Chesed Vizkartani Al Paro Votzisani Min HaBais Hazeh. He's telling him, tell Paro about this when you get reinstated, and then he'll take me out of this house, meaning the prison. Midrash Rabbah says, why was Yosef punished? Yosef was punished because he said Lashon Hara on his 10 brothers. And therefore, Mida Kneged Mida, he was to be in the Bais Asurim in jail for 10 years. However, he ended up being there an additional 2 years because of his request of asking the Sar HaMashkim twice to help get me out, to remember twice to get me out of the jail and say what I've done. So for that, an extra 2 years were added on. The question is, if you're supposed to do Hishtadlus, you're supposed to make your effort, do things naturally, why was Yosef punished for making this request? So the answer that Rav Schwab gives is because his language that he told the Sar HaMashkim. He told them in the end, "V'tzisani min habayis," that you or Paro, you'll take me out of the house. He should have said, no, and then God will take me out of the house. Since he didn't mention God, he was worthy of being punished for that additional time. So as far as why 2 extra years versus 1 extra year for 1 extra time of making the request, that's a different topic. You'll have to look that up on your own, but it's an interesting topic. But Rav Schwab uses this to teach the lesson that a person has to realize that when to do Hishtadlus, what is Emunah and Bitachon, and that a person should know that his success is only because of Hashem. It's not his own efforts. It's not, kochi va'otzem yadi. It's not what I've done. And that's something that we're supposed to learn here, when it's by the livelihood, it's about getting shidduchim. It's all from Hashem. And Yosef, in fact, did learn his lesson. Because when it came to interpreting the dreams before Paro, he changed the language. And there he said, Vayan Yosef es Paro lemor biladi, Elokim yanes shalom Paro. That God will answer the welfare of Paro. And clearly Paro got the message because Paro was public, and he acknowledged that. He says, "Vayom Paro Yosef acharei hodia Elokim oscha," after God let you know. So we see that Yosef did give Hashem the credit as he should, because Hashem is in charge of everything, and Paro even picked up the message. Now, in the selected essays, it continues that in the Midrash Eicha, that there were 4 kings of the Bnei Israel who were mispalel to Hashem, and Hashem answered for them in their victories. First one was David HaMelech. He said, okay, I'm going to pursue, and I'm going to reach, and I'm going to destroy all my enemies. Please, let me accomplish that. And Hashem answered it, and he accomplished it. Asa said, I can't kill people, but I can chase them. Hashem, I'll chase them, and you kill them. Hashem answered his tefillos. Then came Yoshaphat, and he said, I can't do any of those. I can't chase, I can't kill, but I can sing shira. I can sing your praises. So Hashem answered that, and a miracle happened, and the enemies became in a panic, and they end up killing each other. Finally, Chizkiyahu came along, and he said, I can't even sing shira. I'm just going to stay in bed, Hashem, and you take care of my enemies that are surrounding me. And the miracle happened, and all his enemies were killed the next morning or overnight because of a malach. So who do you think is the one who has more bitachon? Is it David HaMelech, who made all these efforts, or is it Chizkiyahu, or one of the other ones, who minimized and left more and more to Hashem? And again, this is what a Jew is supposed to believe, that when you go to work, it's not your effort. It's Hashem giving you parnasa. When you go to the doctor, Hashem is sending that shaliach for you for refuah or for shidduchim, for whatever the thing that you need. If you make your effort, and Hashem will do what He has to do and what's appropriate for you. But what you have to recognize that even after all your efforts, it's Hashem who did it, not you. And that's why David HaMelech was actually the one with the biggest bitachon, because yes, he made the big effort, and he didn't leave it for Hashem to do per se, but he recognized that it was Hashem who had helped him succeed in his very efforts. So that's the big challenge, to dig deeper than the surface and recognize Hashem's role in everything. Meanwhile, Chizkiyahu, who did nothing, well, that miracle was clear. Like, of course it was from Hashem. There was no bitachon needed that way. So therefore, we should recognize, as we're people of emunah and bitachon, that we do this Hishtadlus, but everything we accomplish is from Hashem. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week.